Silver sold off sharply earlier this week, and it's got many people asking, is now the right time to buy silver? Let's find out. Today, we're diving into the world of silver investment. It's a topic that increasing numbers of you are asking us to cover, and it's not surprising. Silver did take a while to join gold on its recent rally, but it did get involved. This is what usually happens. The two are positively correlated, but silver lags behind somewhat. And now, both gold and silver have pulled back in recent days. And so you want to know, is silver still a good investment? And how can you go about adding it to your portfolio? We understand, and this video will help you to decide. So let's get this one answered quickly. Should you buy silver? Yes, you should. Deciding to buy silver bullion to hold in your investment portfolio is probably one of the best strategic decisions you can make for your investments and financial situation. By the way, when we talk about bullion, we are referring to investment grade bars and coins. But that doesn't mean that it's easy to decide when to make that commitment to silver bullion. Like any investment, the price moves around and it can be stressful wondering if you're going to spot the right time to buy it. Many people ask, should I buy silver now? Because they're looking at the price of silver, which can move quite significantly over short periods of time, and they are worried that their decision will make for an investment that is more expensive than it needs to be. To put things into perspective, at the time of recording, the silver price is $27. By the end of the year, both US investment bank JP Morgan and Commerzbank see silver reaching $30, a 10-year high, thanks to falling interest rates and US Treasury yields. All in, the Silver Institute expects physical demand to reach 1.2 billion ounces this year, which would mark the second highest level on record. So let's try and understand a bit more about the silver price and why it does what it does. Is it just about interest rates and US Treasury yields? No, it's so much more diverse than that. Like gold, the price of silver has been on some trip in recent years. If you look back to the early 2000s, then the price was hovering around $3 an ounce. And in the 20 years since, it has been in touching distance of $50 an ounce, but only fallen as low as $9. Silver is definitely the more volatile sibling when it comes to precious metals. Just to take one example, between March 2020 and August 2020, it climbed by 142%. Reasons for its volatility compared to gold are varied, but the two main ones are that it has a much smaller market than gold and it is an industrial metal, which means that the price can fluctuate more based on demand and supply factors for industry. Silver's ease at staying above $10 in recent years is much thanks to a boom in industrial demand, but also major global events such as various financial crises and the global pandemic. Just because these events have seemingly passed, the silver price stays strong because the measures that were put in place to deal with these events have created systemic risk and so continue to support demand for silver. Of course, silver doesn't just respond to geopolitical or economic events. It is also an industrial metal. Unlike gold, where industrial applications account for less than 10%, silver sees a substantial portion of its demand, nearly 50%, driven by industrial uses. And it's through this lens that the market has viewed silver in recent years. While silver has long played a major role in industrial applications, it is the industries of tomorrow where things get really exciting. Silver is the best electrical conductor and highly reflective, and so it lends itself brilliantly to the renewable energy market. Global investment in the low-carbon energy transition surged 17% last year, reaching $1.77 trillion. Renewable energy, for example, wind farms and solar parks, accounted for nearly half of that. Given the average solar panel uses around 20 grams of silver, this can only be a good thing for those who have chosen to invest in it. And renewable energy, such as solar parks, isn't the only area where silver is stepping up. There is around 25 to 50 grams of silver in a battery-powered vehicle, and vehicle manufacturers and battery makers plan to invest $860 billion globally by 2030 in the transition to electric vehicles. Forecasters expect this will rise further, soon surpassing the amount of investment going into renewable energy. The International Energy Agency expects there to be up to 220 million electric vehicles on our roads by 2030. And this will take some serious investment because at the moment, there are just 26 million vehicles on the road. All of this expected use for silver, but where is it coming from? And this is a tricky one to answer, given the silver market is forecast to remain in a deficit this year. So 2024 will be the fourth consecutive year of a structural market deficit, and this is exceptionally high by historical standards. Of course, the drive to go green, to become more sustainable, and to look after our planet is really a huge economic transformation that the world and industries within it are being forced out of necessity to take part in. And that's why silver is a good buy for this year and next. If we are committed to making the changes required, then we have to use silver. Silver is going to have a very major role to play in our transition to renewable energy and, in turn, our new economic outlook. But no economic outlook is possible without the support of government. To support the move to a more sustainable planet, governments are aware it will take significant investment from the public purse. In the US alone, President Biden has pledged $174 billion to support the electric vehicle industry. And just for demonstration projects for low carbon technologies, over $50 billion of public funds have been pledged across major economies. So where does all of this money come from? Government spending across the West and beyond, prior to and during the pandemic, has been unprecedented and put enormous inflationary pressures on the global economy. The US debt alone grows by $1 trillion every 100 days. And this is where we come to the second and arguably biggest reason to own silver. Governments continue to operate economies on a very short-term basis, which just creates deeper problems and systemic risks around the world. Silver is a safe haven that will help to protect your financial portfolio for when the proverbial hits the fan. Safe haven investors choose to buy silver for the following reasons. It's a hedge. Like gold bullion, silver bullion has shown itself to be a hedge against major systemic and geopolitical risks, inflationary, deflationary, and economic crises. It's a safe haven. Silver is without borders. It does not exist because a government or central bank deems it so. No one can turn on the printing presses and suddenly devalue it, unlike currencies. And this, combined with its unique physical properties, means that it has stood the test of time when it comes to holding its value and acting as a store of wealth for many people over thousands of years. There is no third-party liability. When you own physical silver bullion, you own physical silver bullion. And this is in stark contrast to when you buy futures, ETFs, stocks, and shares, where usually you do not own the underlying asset and are very much at the behest of third parties as to how your investment is managed. Liquidity. Silver is generally a very liquid market. When buying silver bullion with the right dealer, you will find it very easy to enter and exit the market. And unlike many other investment and currency options, the price is set by the market. It can protect against uncertainty. Silver can act as insurance for your financial portfolio. In times of uncertainty, as ours is now, we need to hold assets in our portfolio that have stood the test of time. We look back on the last decade and beyond and see a global economic crisis, major climate disasters, a global pandemic, and a potential world war. If there was ever a time to get some insurance, it should be now. So ask yourself, are you happy to be uninsured? Silver is an insurance asset. Usually, when buying insurance, we don't sit and wait for the opportune time to buy it because it is too risky to leave our homes, say, or our cars or our belongings uninsured. So why do we do this with our other investments? Rather than ask when is a good time to buy silver, you should perhaps ask, when do I want to be without it? And right now, we think you probably don't. So is now a good time to buy silver? This year is proving to be a challenging one, to say the least. It's barely got global pandemic in its rearview mirror, whilst driving head-on into a potential third world war, a rumoured recession, dramatic weather patterns, and the financial fallout from said pandemic. It's understandable, therefore, that you might be looking to future-proof your portfolio and are asking if this is a good year to buy silver. We think it is, thanks to both industrial demand and the systemic issues in the global economy. We believe that silver bullion should always have a place in your investment portfolio. It is not only in great demand as an industrial metal, but it has a long-term role as a hedge during uncertain times and as a safe haven. The factors that have pushed up the price of silver have only left bigger, more systemic issues, which will continue to support the price and the need to hold silver bullion. In this video, we have demonstrated that there are a number of factors that are setting the scene for a hike in silver prices, and we don't see a time on the horizon when investors will be comfortable to fully liquidate their silver holdings. The factors discussed both affect the silver price and give plenty of reasons to own it, and they will not go away anytime soon. we fully expect them to create bigger upset and risks in our economic and financial systems. So now you're wondering how to buy silver. Well, getting started when you've decided on how to buy silver can be a bit tricky. You might be asking, are silver bullion coins a good investment, or should I buy silver bars? Why not head to goldcore.com to help you with your next steps, or click on this video here to find out more about investing in precious metals.